While Mr. Biden did not explicitly name Mr. Trump, his remarks went straight at the tension at the heart of the incoming administration, in which billionaires like Elon Musk are positioned to wield enormous influence over the next 4 years. Are they really populists intent on shaking up the government to benefit working people who've been left behind by the establishment, or are they just billionaire disruptors out to enrich themselves? Mr. Biden's warning of an unelected oligarchy taking shape echoed a similar one by President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who spoke about the military industrial complex in his farewell address. The Biden version referred to the tech industrial complex, in which he warned of the erosion of truth itself brought forth by unchecked social media platforms, a reference to Meta doing away with fact checkers this week, and artificial intelligence. Quote, Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation enabling the abuse of power, unquote, Mr. Biden said. Quote, the powerful voices want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit, he said. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. The speech in many ways wrapped up not just 4 years in the White House, but more than half a century of public service for Mr. Biden, who came of age in an era of politics that he no longer sees around him. It also served as a plea for the country to remember its roots as he leaves the office he has coveted since he was a young man. Quote, after 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society, he said. Our system of separation of powers, checks and balances, it may not be perfect, he said, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment. Mr. Biden called for term limits and ethics reform for the Supreme Court and banning members of Congress from trading stocks. He also mentioned, quote, we need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from the crimes that he or she commits while in office, unquote. Um, Yeah, and then they go into his, unpopularity and the fact the last time he did an address in the Oval Office was when he decided to leave the race. And one story that I think is interesting, and it's not getting the attention it should, although it should, was recent conversations some people, even leftist people, had with Biden, and the fact that it's become plainly obvious Biden's not all there. Intellectually, he's not been there. And based upon recent reporting, that's been true for a while. I think we covered that a couple weeks ago. Um, I think there's a lot of stuff that happened, and there was some reporting on this, that Biden doesn't know a lot of the stuff that was done.